What is up, homies? My name is Felix and I'm here back again with another video for you all today. And this video, this is something that has been requested quite a bit actually. A lot of people when I'm live streaming stuff that ask me like, can you play us your first beat you ever made? And then I've gotten a few suggestions of people saying that I should basically do a Fix It Felix video but for my own old beats. So basically that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here today. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a Fix It Felix but on my first beat that I ever made. So this is going to be pretty interesting to show you guys my first ever beat. It's going to be pretty funny to listen to it and then kind of listen to the ways that I could make it better, make it super swag and awesome now. So yeah, before we get into this video, make sure you guys check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud down in the description below, along with the playlist of songs I've produced, my beat store, my Discord, all that stuff will be down there. If you want to go check that out, you may. And yeah, now let's get into this video. Alright, so first off I gotta find this file. It should be this one. I think it's this one. Hot Beat 1. The first hot beat ever. And I think the reason that I called all of these first like 60 beats hot beat was because I watched this video. I think it was one of the first videos that H3H3 did with Post Malone. And in that video, I'm pretty sure Post Malone shows Ethan how to make a beat and he calls it hot beat. So that's why I called it that, I'm pretty sure, which is a pretty funny story, but yeah, that's why. So yeah, essentially here's a project file. Hopefully it opens up correctly and everything. Alright, so you guys ready for this? This is gonna be pretty dope, pretty epic. Basically, this is what we got going on here. Dope. Swag. Alright, so basically this is the first beat that I ever made. Pretty awesome, pretty swag. I have no idea why I made the loop this length because this is so weird. It's like 16 bars, but the drums come in like here at the 12th bar. I have no idea, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and then I'm going to bring it into FL Studio because I want to be able to have a little bit more freedom to mess around with it. And I'm just going to basically scrap all of these drums because I just cannot with these drums. These are literally all stock drums, but I mean, I was first starting out. It was just my first beat, so can't knock me too hard for that one. But yeah, basically what I'm going to do here is solo it. And now I'm going to go to File and Export MIDI. And now hopefully this should work. Alright, so I pulled the MIDI file into FL Studio now, and I have it inside of a steel drum in Purity because the steel drum kind of sound was what I used for the original beat. So I'm going to look at this, and also I can delete everything after here, and all these little MIDI notes too, because these are all like the hi-hats and everything, and we don't need that, we just need the melody. Alright, so I just deleted all the unnecessary things, and now we just have this little 16 bar loop, and I'm going to pitch this down because it sounds really high up right now. Alright, so from here, basically, like, it looks like we have a pretty decent pattern. The only really place where it gets messed up is over here in this area. I don't really know what was going through my head when I got to these 4 bars here, but where it really gets messed up is right here because it's like chord here and then another chord. But however, both of these spots here don't have that, so it kind of throws off the rhythm. And then also it really throws off the rhythm with this here, which is like a weird kind of like out of key, like descending. I don't know what it is, but it's something weird. And then basically another 5 bars of the pattern repeats. So basically what I'm going to do to start off is just get rid of this because we're not going to have that descending thing because that sounds horrible. It's not in key or anything, so we're just going to ditch that. And now for right here, I'm just going to work on cleaning up this little melody a little bit. Alright, so basically what I'm going to do here at first is I just move these 2 little notes so that they're a little bit more on the lines because this is like a weird arrangement for these notes to be in. So I have them like this now. And then I also pitch those 2 notes up, and now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring this chord down. And I'm also going to fix the velocity because I don't know why the velocities are so weird. And now what I'm going to do is kind of repeat this similar pattern but with different notes. Alright, so I repeated the pattern a little bit and then I got rid of that other chord that was in there because I didn't really like the sound of it. Now I'm going to kind of just continue this pattern a little bit. Alright, so I just basically finished the first 4 bars and now this is kind of how it's sounding. So what I'm going to do from here is actually just get rid of this portion as well, and I'm just going to copy this over again. And now I'm going to make a little bit of changes to the like little counter melody that's in there, and we're going to see if I can get this to sound good. Alright, so I just finished the last 4 bars of this melody, and it sounds like this now. Basically, it's just a little bit of a variation on what I made at first. So yeah, that's how it's sounding, and now what I'm gonna do is take these bass notes here and I'm gonna copy them down like so. And now what I'm gonna do is hit Alt S and now Alt R to randomize the velocities a little bit. So now that we have this, pretty much the melody completed, I'm gonna mess around with the pitch a little bit to see if I can get it to sound a little bit more how I like. Alright, so I just changed the pitch and it sounds like this now. I'm liking how this is sounding. I'm just going to add a couple more sounds. I think I want to add an electric piano of some sort. I want to add like a lead or something like that, and then maybe like some bells or something. I'm not totally sure. Alright, so for the first sound, I have this Spitfire Audio Labs electric piano, and what I'm going to do is basically get rid of all of these. I just want the chords to be playing. And now what I'm going to do is add just like a little bit of a counter melody in here with these chords. And I'm kind of going to keep this like tucked away in the mix just to give it a little bit more bounce and just hear like a little bit of a little sparkle over the top, I guess. But yeah, so now we have this, and I am going to add maybe like a lead or something. And I'm also going to probably layer the steel drums. Alright, so I just added a couple little layers, and the first one I added is this little sound from Expand. It's like a little like bell kind of sound. And then I also added a very, very nice touch, I think, which is the BBC Symphony Orchestra Violins 1, I think, and it sounds like this. And I think that sounds super dope and it gives it a really cool effect. So now that we have that, I'm going to add like a lead or something, probably from Hybrid, and we're going to see what I can find there. Woohoo! That's fire. Okay, so I just came up with a pretty fire sounding little melody on the keyboard, and I'm going to try to play it right now. Okay, and now I'm going to quantize a little bit and now add like a second little part to it, but click in the second part. And honestly, I think this beat is sounding pretty good so far. I really like the way it's come together. It's a nice little vibe here. It is quite different from the original beat, but I think that's a good thing considering, you know, what the original beat was. Alright, so now is going to be prime time to add some drums, I think. And I'm not really sure what kind of drums I want to do on this. I kind of wanted to do like a little bit of a different vibe with this, but I'm not totally sure. I think I'm just going to mess around a little bit. Alright, so I started on the drums a little bit off camera because I was really feeling them. But what I did was I turned the tempo down to 133 instead of 140. And then I also added these little drums here. What I did was I just added a simple two-step hi-hat pattern, and then I just added these little triplets right here. And now with a snare or clap, usually what you do is you put it like right here, but instead I put it right here. And this gives it like a little bit more up-tempo kind of feel. And then I think what I'm going to do is maybe change out the snare sound and then possibly add a couple more sounds too. Alright, so I just added what some might call my signature little sound here. I really love this sound a lot. It sounds like this. And I added it right here and then right here. And now I'm going to extend all the drums a little bit because even though I have the snare pushed back a little bit, this is still only 2 bars, so I need to make it longer. Alright, so basically I just extended the drum pattern a little bit and then I changed the 808 up a little bit at the end here. One other thing I did is changed up the hi-hat pattern a little bit. I added a little bit of a roll right before the second snare here, and then right before it hits here again, and then I added this kind of a long one here. So yeah, now that I have pretty much everything done with the beat, what I'm going to do is kind of skip through the mixing portion of this because usually I'll add the mixing portion in, but it's basically the same every time. What I do is pretty much just put an EQ on all the melodic components, and then I put a reverb on all the melodic components, and then I pretty much just level out the drums, and I don't add too much effects or anything onto them. Alright, so I just finished a little bit of mixing and stuff, and now what I gotta do is just lay out the beat, and then we'll be done here. So I'm going to right click, split by channel, and now I'm going to drag all these in here, just like so. And now I'm going to do this, Control B, and now we have our whole thing. And now I'm going to drag this to the side, and then I'm going to start off with a little intro. Probably the steel drums are going to be in the beginning. And then I'm going to probably bring in the strings like this, and then take the steel drum out. And then I think what I want to do is like a little bit of a band pass or like a low pass filter, and then make it fade out, and then do like a tape stop or something like that. Alright, so basically I just put a little low pass filter on this portion here, and then I faded it out with the tape stop. So then it's going to drop in, and then I'm going to have 32 bars of just different variations and stuff, and then have a little bit of a break, and then have another 32 bars, and then kind of close it out a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so I just laid out the beat. I'm pretty much done now at this point. What I did essentially was I just took out some of the little percussions and stuff here and there. At the same time, I took out some of the other instruments, like I took out the lead at certain points, and then I took out the strings at certain, just to give it a little bit of variety and keep it fresh, keep it new. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know the beat was wildly different from my original first beat that I ever made, but I'm sure it was interesting for some of you to hear my first beat that I ever made, and then see it compared to what I'm capable of now. Also, I do think this beat turned out pretty fire, and I actually like it a lot. So yeah, make sure you guys follow my Instagram and my SoundCloud. Those will be down in the description below, along with the playlist of songs I've produced, my Discord, beat store, all that stuff, yada yada yada. You already know what the vibes are, and I will see you guys next time.
Inside my dome, oh.